What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Wednesday, December 4th, 2024. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. I appreciate you all very much. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy hump day. Let's take a look at the chart for Wednesday. We're going to see the sun come to 13 degrees Sagittarius. Going to change that up a little bit. But yeah, 13 degrees Sagittarius. Well, guess what? Saturn is direct and it just came to 13 degrees Pisces. So definitely still in that Sun Saturn square, which especially with the moon and Venus here in Capricorn coming together, we're trying to find really good sensual qualities of life, really good things that we want to put our efforts into, what we're trying to relate with that has purpose in life, people we're trying to relate with. But it's kind of hard. I think Saturn's meeting us with a lot of like cycles, right? So a lot of subconscious cycles, patterns in our life here in Pisces, and with like karmic implications of like where we need to expand and grow, and where we're starting to really feel where we need to get serious in certain parts of our life, and what is the quality of that. And I think this moon and Venus wants to feel really, really good today, but it's almost like with such a Saturnian energy that it can't feel good unless it's being productive. And maybe where the sun and Sag just wants to kind of be free and explore, it's almost like if the exploration doesn't have purpose, is it worth the trip? So it's almost like not really just like, hey, let's just go on a vacation somewhere, or just today in general, kind of take the day, it's a vacation. No, it's like a business trip, right? So you kind of want to look at today as like a little business trippy. Like things have purpose. So if you're going somewhere, it has purpose. If you're doing something with someone, there's purpose to it. So it's kind of like expanding what the purpose of things are. There could be some kind of miscommunications with Mercury retrograde, especially with Mercury, with Eros, and even the Venus moon thing with relationships. But Eros, of course, deals with relationship energy and passion as well, but the opposition to Jupiter. And this is the second one of three. And we're getting ready for Mercury Cazimi with the sun here in Sagittarius. So there's just a lot of qualities about, yeah, there can be a lot to explore. There's a lot to be hopeful for, and we definitely want to kind of dial in our own faith and our intuition here. But there's definitely things we have to pay attention to in the present, and I think that's why some of the seriousness is good right now, because we want to be making sure that what we're doing has purpose, and that's like the best way to put it. So your intent today about what you do and who you do it with, really important. um, Keep going. Don't give up too. Like it's one of those times too where, we can feel like nothing maybe feels good, or everything just, feels like some kind of a stress or burden in life. And we definitely want to be able to feel what that is, because there's purpose there too. So it's a very purposeful Wednesday. It's trying to understand a lot about where things can go. It's trying to understand a lot about the present, and really getting a lot of the railroad ties put in place for this track that we're building here with Pluto and Aquarius. The moon and Venus are also going to semi-square Saturn and semi-square the sun. So there's just a lot of this square energy. A lot of, a little crusty. We're meeting with a lot of conflict about maybe our outward desires and our inward desires. And we also don't want to suppress emotion and feeling right now. We have to grow from things. Every feeling has purpose. I think that's the big thing about this is whatever's coming up in life, or blocks, whatever feeling that is emitting or making present in your life, feeling, emotion, all that, with people or with yourself or with relationships, right? It's trying to show you purpose, and the trine to Uranus is something that's still amazing. And the moon's there, Venus is there. It's accelerating you to a better quality of personal life and relationship life. So we have to feel things, whether it's crusty or icky or hard, but it's the maturity of how we deal with our emotions, and the purpose behind, I think understanding the purpose behind why we're feeling certain things is like the most important thing. And it can be confusing with Mercury here, especially in opposition to Jupiter. Like, gosh, there can be so many different thoughts or questions or different conflicting truths. And You have to figure out the best one that kind of fits with your plans here. It's your track that you're building, it's your railroad to wherever it's supposed to go for your purpose. And you kind of got to stick to that and try not to get too confused, but it is confusing. We're also seeing the sextiles from Venus and the moon to Neptune in Pisces. And I think that trusting our intuition is the best way to know where to put the next railroad tie in our life. It's the best way to know like what the best plan of attack is, what the next procedure is, and to kind of see and feel that there's a bigger picture, bigger thing happening. But maybe, we can't just see it. Maybe it's much more intuitive, much more of a feeling. Venus is starting to approach that conjunction with Pluto. The moon's going to finish the day right there, coming onto that conjunction with Pluto. So there's an intensity that builds throughout the day, but it can be a good intensity because it can be something that we're really starting to feel connected to a future and seeing where tracks are going. But it's also where we can feel like we're not getting that out of life. But that's because we took just an unnecessary vacation today and we didn't kind of make sure that we were moving with purpose today. So that's the big thing. It's move with purpose as we see this Mars just couple minutes away from going retrograde in geometry, not minutes of time, which will be 2 days from now on Friday. And then Neptune's going to turn online as well. So there's big planetary shifts coming, and Mercury's already retrograde, getting ready for a Cazimi here. It's in detriment. It's confusing. There's a lot of contradicting facts. In the end, you have to condition yourself right now to know to trust your intuition and to build the tracks in whatever way it's going, because that's where you're supposed to be. And I think it can feel a little harder. It's Sun Square Saturn times, yesterday and today, and Mercury's going to start to square that Saturn, right? So there's a lot of Saturnian energy, especially with the moon and Venus here. It's all about what you do with it. It's all about moving with purpose. That's the best way to put it. So hope you guys feel like this hump day provides some kind of a purpose in your direction. Also, check out the sunset tonight, because where maybe it's a little bit heavier energy, planetary wise, the planets are going to be gorgeous because the moon and Venus are going to be setting together and conjuncting right at sunset, and it's going to be absolutely beautiful. So one of my favorite things to see, especially with the evening star Venus and a waxing crescent moon. And if you can see the sky, check out that western horizon when the sun sets. It's going to be really nice. And, Pluto's right there with it. And I think it's just a good sort of metaphor for the seriousness of life, but also the beauty of life and the passion of life. And you got to figure out what your passions, what you're striving for, and stay on course for your way right now. And be serious about what makes your life better, because there's really no reason to build tracks to a place that doesn't make your life better. You know what I'm saying? Card for the day is the Prince of Swords, the Page of Swords in reverse. Yeah, that reminds me of very youthful, sort of naive, sort of just mental attitude towards life, and it's a little bit confused. I think communication can be a little confusing right now. With this Mercury retrograde, understanding information can be a little confusing right now, but really it's an intuitive time, and intuitively you're going to know what the right tracks are to be on right now. And I don't think it takes much questioning. I mean, South Node's in Libra. We can weigh things out all we want and hope that we get nudged in a way that's going to be perfectly balanced, but in the end, you got to be defining and independently figure out where you're trying to go and what your goals are and how you're going to get there. And sometimes it's not the most comfortable, the comfortable thing. Sometimes you have to do the harder thing because it's the right thing to do. So we're also getting like a check on our own integrity. And do we trust ourselves and where we feel like we're going? And I think that's where today is really important amidst uncertainty and confusion, because we feel like we need to do something, but we maybe don't have information to back it up. And that's where faith comes in, and that's where you got to kind of trust that there's a plan and that you feel something for a reason. And it's to get you to an experience, and that experience is going to give you the wisdom that you need. I love you all. Have a beautiful Wednesday, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Much love. Peace.